I did not collude. With those words, Jared Kushner took a step toward taking back the narrative, or at least framing the media narrative about his involvement or lack thereof in the Russia investigation. Now, there was already going to be huge interest on Monday in terms of Kushner testifying before the Senate Intelligence Committee and then the House Committee a day later, but it's closed-door testimony, so there wouldn't be any, live coverage of him being questioned by senators. And that means that had he said nothing publicly, Kushner would have been subject to selective leaks, perhaps from Democrats on the committee, who knows, designed to make him, or at least put him on the defensive. So his team, from a media point of view, did a very smart thing. They took his 11-page statement, the testimony he was going to submit to the committee, and put it out there before the sun even came up. I mean, I saw stories as early as 6 a.m. on Monday, quoting extensively from Jared Kushner's statement. And then he did something else, because you may have noticed that as important a position that the president's son-in-law holds as a senior advisor in the White House, not to mention a member of the family and the inner circle, you rarely hear his voice. You almost never see him quoted in newspapers. By his own account, he is not somebody who seeks publicity. But in this case, the camera-shy Jared Kushner, after the testimony on the Hill, went to the White House driveway, went to the microphones, read a short version of the statement. He said he did not collude. He said he did not have any improper contacts over Russia. He said that the president won the 2016 election because he ran a better campaign, and that's all there is to it. Now, what's fascinating is when you drill down on what Kushner said in this statement, with the help of his lawyers, you don't have to buy everything he said or take it at face value, but he did provide a different perspective. For example, the famous meeting, Don Jr., Manafort, and the Russians last year during the campaign. Kushner said not only that he did not see the email promising Oppo research on Hillary, but he showed up late. He saw that it was about some discussion of adoption, and he emailed his assistant saying, please call me on my cell so I have an excuse to get out of this meeting. Similarly, it was a huge story when it was reported that Jared Kushner had asked the Russian ambassador, Sergei Kislyak, to set up a kind of a back channel so he could talk to people in Moscow without any interference. And this was portrayed in the media as being, secret, and not only secret, but an attempt to hide something. Well, according to Kushner's testimony, during his meeting with the ambassador, during the transition when it would be natural for him to be talking to envoys from major countries that want to do business with the incoming Trump administration. It was Kislyak who said, I'd like you to talk to a couple of our Russian generals. Do you have any kind of secure communication facility at the transition office? And Jared, according to his account, said, no. Do you have any such secure line in your Russian embassy? Nothing ever came of it, but it makes it sound a little less like he's got something to hide, or that he was the one who wanted to have some secret contacts. Now, there are plenty of things you can question about this testimony, including the fact that some of these contacts were left out of his security clearance application. The Kushner side points out that, he left out everything. He didn't talk about any of the meetings he had with foreign leaders, including Bibi Netanyahu, so therefore he says it was a miscommunication. The staff filed this prematurely. So clearly, with the red-hot spotlight on Jared Kushner, he not only needed to get a lawyer, go to the committee, have all of the emails and phone calls ready to defend the questions and to defend himself against these allegations at the committee, but he really needed to fight the battle in the court of public opinion, even though by his own admission he doesn't seek publicity. He's not accustomed to doing that. By getting out in front of the story, putting out the statement everybody wrote on, and then making the televised statement on the White House driveway. And every time I see the story now on TV, it's got a clip of Jared Kushner. Television defends on visuals. Kushner and his team were smart enough to figure that out. He didn't certainly turn this around. It doesn't mean he's off the hot seat, but he did succeed in getting his version out there, in preempting the Senate committee, and at least having people consider the fact that there is another side to the story.